to invite Mom on.
Thank
so
you
we
for
can get started.
Thank you for inviting me. I thought you guys were making supper today.
Are you out of breath from that dance person?
All right, so we're making 3 recipes for you today. The first one we're making is dump lasagna, but it's not going to taste bad, guys. It's going to taste real good. A lot of people recommended this recipe, and it's made in the pressure cooker, so it's just going to take 30 minutes to cook. What's another recipe we're making, guys?
We're going to make cookies, and we're going to be making, what's your name?
Tara Fraser.
Coconut cold brew.
Yes, so Tara Fraser sent us a recipe, so thank you, Tara. We're going to be making that today, and we'll be able to sample it tomorrow. But let's get started with the main course. So we're making our dump lasagna in the pressure cooker. Now, I have always made lasagna in the oven in something, I used to use Pyrex, and now I use Ultra Pro because you can cut the cooking time in about 2/3 of the cooking time instead.
I still don't know what a pyrite is.
Pyrex?
Oh,
Yeah.
what's a pyrite?
No, because haven't had those in years. Okay, but we're using the Tupperware pressure cooker, and what's cool about this, and why I'm loving that we're practicing these recipes, guys, is in the fall, once we're back to school and evening activities, we're going to be able to make supper in just 30 minutes, and we're going to have all these recipes at our fingertips. So inside the pressure cooker, right now, we have about a pound of ground beef. We bought some ground beef, we froze it, and thawed it out for today. Just going to set it to the side. Oh, actually, I'm going to set it to this side. And Caitlin, I'm wondering if you could add the noodles. So the noodles that we need to add to this, it said about 2 cups of noodles on the recipe. I'm going to try this out first. Oh my goodness, you're right. You could actually cut this bag with the little pokey thing on the end of the cheese knife.
That was my thought.
Oh, there you go.
We both thought of it, just at different times. We thought of it first.
Okay, so the recipe says 2 cups of noodles. Now today we're using gluten-free noodles because this mama wants to have supper. But it also says we're going to put a little less than 2 cups, Caitlin.
Okay.
Sure, that's perfect. Then let's put the noodles to the side because it also says a container and a half of sauce. And we have a container and a quarter. And so that's what we're going to use today. So Carson, why don't you come on this side and you could put the sauce in. I'm just going to put this to the side here.
We're just going to dump it.
Oh, that's the dump cake right there. Or not dump cake, dump lasagna.
And I'm going to use the spatula, right?
Use the spatula, yeah. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to take this cheese knife. Now, a lot of people asked why is there holes in the middle of the cheese knife? And so that's so that your cheese knife can go right through the cheese nice and easily, and it doesn't get
stuck to the cheese doesn't get stuck to the knife.
Yeah. So thank you. I think it was, yeah, thank you, Tupperware. So we're going to cut this into 4 pieces right here like this. And this little pokey thing, why is this on the end? Well, when you cut your cheese and you cut off a slice, I'm just going to get now mozzarella is a little harder to cut, but let's just say like this, you can actually use this little pokey thing to then put it on your plate. Okay, so we have...
to cut open the bag.
Or to cut open the bag, that's right. So far we have our sauce in, our noodles in, and our meat. Now, I'm following the recipe today. When I typically make lasagna, I typically add onions and garlic. Right away you can, yeah. But this recipe didn't call for it, so we're going to try it like this, and then we can adjust it after. You can put that right in there because we're going to need it in a little bit. You can move those off to the side. So we're going to add a little bit of this Italian herb seasoning. It calls for about a tablespoon. I just like to shake it around like that. And then there we go. And I'm going to mix this up in a moment. But while I'm doing that, Caitlin, why don't you show us how you're going to open the can?
Okay. So I have a can opener, and I'm going to spread the legs apart and make sure. What would you call doing this, Mom? What am I doing? Closing the legs.
Sure.
And you know it's on if you can lift the can up. So that's pretty handy. Then you just twist it, and the can opener will go around until you feel a click. Or hear one. You might be able to hear it. Now that's all cans are different. Yeah.
So we're adding a can of mushrooms to this because, again, that's what the ingredient says, the ingredient list, and we're just following someone else's recipe. Now, what you need to do, Caitlin, is get a... No, you got it. You got it. You just need to get a firm grip on the edge. Close the handle. You're good.
I kind of forgot what I'm doing.
Yep, there you go.
And then we're going to use the strainer, the Tupperware strainer, to strain all the juice of the mushrooms. Yeah, that's what yeah. Kirsten's stealing my show here.
Well, you go for it, Caitlin. It's now your show.
It smells like mushrooms.
All right, so a can of mushrooms goes in here. And the other ingredient that we need is cheese. So there's two kinds of cheese. So Caitlin, can you do the Parmesan cheese, which is about a 1/4 cup? And Carson, can you get the mozzarella cheese grating over here? We need 2 cups of that. So I'll let you start it off, Carson, and show us how to do the mozzarella grating. Now, first thing you need to do is
lock the thing in place so it doesn't go everywhere. Okay.
Is it locked into place?
No, it's just.
You know why?
Oh.
Oh. I'm going to tell you why, Carson, that wasn't working. Because you need to have it all into place, and it won't lock in if the top isn't on. So now that it's all into place here, it's a simple. Yeah, there you go. So you got it. Okay.
I'm going to take a block of cheese, I'm going to put it in the top. I'm going to grab this thing, and I'm going to press down and just going to spin the handle thing.
And you can see.
It opens up.
That's right. You can see how easy it's coming out of there. Caitlin, you could give this a little bit of a stir while Carson's doing that. And so you do want to buy your cheese. Now, Carson, if you come on this side of it, it'll be a little easier. Just come right here, and there you go, because that's a more normal angle. And you've got all the cheese, now you can put another one in. There you go. Okay. So when you're buying your cheese, there's 2 different ways to buy cheese. You can buy it either in a block or in a bag. And oftentimes they're priced the same, but with a block, you get double the amount. So a marketer's dream is the person who goes and buys the bag because you're getting less for the same amount of money. Now,
and that's why this the Grandmaster is really good, because then you're going to be making more money than you're going to spend.
That's right, you can save money. Now let's just see, something looks off here. It could just be because it got caught on something here. Okay, here we go. We seem to be going at a good pace now. There's 2 different sizes of the cheese grater, and we're using the bigger one right now. There's also a smaller one, Carson, like if you wanted to do Parmesan cheese or something like that. Let's see. Why don't you do the last 2 here? Okay.
Is that cut?
Yeah, right there.
Oh.
Okay, and you mixed it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so oh my gosh, this looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, you could use regular noodles, and the recipe actually calls for regular noodles, but luckily for me, my family is on board to give this a try today.
Yeah.
Right? If we like it, we'll try it the other way too. So, do we think we have enough cheese in there, Caitlin?
Yeah, probably.
Why don't you see if we can get 2 cups of cheese out?
Okay.
And we'll let Carson finish the grating. You can probably reach.
I don't know how to do this.
I think you're doing an excellent job. Carson, you can finish the last piece here. We might as well finish it all up. Because the nice thing about this is you can store your grated cheese in the fridge, in a fridge smart in the fridge, or you can store it in a freezer night in the freezer, whichever you like. All right, so you good there, Caitlin? You got 2 cups? That's 1 cup, so dump that in, and let's see if we can get 1 more cup. And this is going to be good because we're going to have extra cheese that's grated. So once it comes out of the microwave, we can add it on top. And so what we're going to do is, I believe the recipe says to stir 1 more time. So we'll give it 1 more stir because we can use the extra cheese after to add on top once we take this out of the microwave. So the ground beef that's in here is not cooked, and the noodles are not cooked. And I'm just going to give it 1 more quick stir. Okay.
Should I get a fridge smart?
We'll just put that off to the side for right now, Carson. Great job. Can you take this, Caitlin? And I just want to show you what this looks like inside. So, what's the word I'm looking for? Raw noodles, raw ground beef, 30 minutes in the microwave, and then we're going to have supper tonight. So, what's cooking for supper at your house? We'd love to know when you make this recipe at your house, okay? Now, because... right, we'd like to know. I'm just going to give the counter a little wipe, and we're going to show you the cookies we made. So I have seen a lot of people baking. Give us a comment if you've been baking.
Me.
Yes, Caitlin has definitely been baking up a storm. It's great for the kids to be baking right now. You can learn a lot of math and a lot of home ec skills.
I've made like
17 batches of cookies.
Yeah, and like 500 cookies.
Okay, so show us what you made this weekend.
Okay, so I did not make those.
I know. Show us what you made. Because one of the things I've noticed is people are doing a lot of baking and then doing a lot of eating. And so
what I did is that, because I didn't want to make a whole bunch of cookies at once, because I like warm cookies and like fresh out of the oven, right? But, so what I did was I made the dough and I rolled it up in balls and I put them in here. This isn't like and we have 2 other things, big rectangles full of them in the garage too. Because the recipe said there was 24 cookies, but I don't think that was only 24. Anyway, so now we can put them in here and make cookies in under 5 minutes.
that's right.
And
So that's right. How many of you love to go to a bakery and you have that smell of freshly baked cookies? That's what we're having in our house because we're using the Micro Pro Grill. So the Micro Pro Grill, you can use it on grill setting, which means it goes down like this. This is great for your meats, quesadilla, grilled cheese sandwiches, or you could put it on casserole setting where it sits right on the top. And this is great for pizzas or cookies, right? So I actually pre-made these. So I bought some gluten-free cookie dough just from Safeway. And you should see this, you guys, like fresh cookies. Oh, I'm gonna have fresh cookies right away. Like these are gonna be so good. And Caitlin's gonna put hers in here. These are right from frozen. And they're gonna go in the microwave, I would say about 3 minutes because this is already warmed. But her cookies are gonna be fresh whenever she wants it. So this is gonna be great for the fall too, because we're gonna get to have freshly baked cookies after school if you keep up the baking. So again, put this on casserole setting so it doesn't touch. We'll put this to the side and I'll put it in the microwave in just a minute. Well, actually, we're gonna take a picture with it in a second, sorry. Okay, so let's get to our last recipe. And I'm gonna move out of the way because you guys know what you're doing now, right?
Okay.
So what are we making, Caitlin?
Coconut cold brew.
Coconut cold brew. So this is Tara Fraser's recipe. So thank you, Tara, from Edmonton, Alberta, for sending this recipe. Now, the way she makes this recipe, Caitlin, is remember we've been making most of our cold brew with the concentrated line up here. We're gonna put the coffee up to the bottom line. So this is just regular coffee. So you can add it.
It smells like coffee.
It does smell like coffee. So this is just regular ground coffee. Okay, going up to the bottom line. And while you're doing that, Carson, you're gonna take coconut flakes and measure out a cup of coconut flakes. Do you need some help opening that? It's a really good seal on that one.
These are unsweetened coconut.
Yeah. So we add 1 cup of coconut flakes. How many people love coconut? We have a really good recipe we should make called Dole Whip. You can have it at Disney World. We should make that later this week.
Smells good.
It smells good, and if we make a mess, no biggie. I'm gonna help you. That's what this is just here for. We'll just give it a good. This was really nice and full in there. Okay, so this is 1 cup of coconut flakes, and we're gonna add it right on top of the coffee. And it might get everywhere. If it snows, that's okay. It's snowing outside too. Let's not worry about the mess because Tupperware has fantastic cloths that we can use. Okay, so that's interesting. So Tara, it goes all the way up to that same line. So that's really cool. Okay, so Carson, now you know what to do. What's the next step?
We're going to be adding the water.
Okay, and I'm just going to move out of your way here. And how do you add it, Carson?
Well, you add it very slowly. So you just put a little bit in, and then you wait for it all to come through the grounds.
It seems to be going a little faster with the coconut. I'm guessing because the coconut is a little bit bigger than the coffee grounds. It actually goes through. Yeah, you can keep filling it because it doesn't seem to be coming up the same as it does.
Yeah, but if you fill it up, it will just keep going once you let go. So that's pretty cool.
That's right. So now, do you guys remember how long you should brew your coffee for?
I think
8 to 10 hours.
8 to 12 hours. So overnight.
Perfect.
I think I got it good.
You did a great job. So 8 to 12 hours, this coffee's gonna brew, and tomorrow we're gonna have Tara Fraser's
coconut coffee.
Coconut cold brew.
Oh, yeah.
And how does she serve it?
She serves it with chocolate milk. So I'm gonna be making chocolate milk.
Ooh, we can have this tomorrow. Okay, so we want to make sure that you're sharing this video, letting other people know that we're making recipes Monday through Friday. So let's take a picture of us right now. You hold your cold brew, Carson. I'm going to hold the dump lasagna in here. And let's smile for the camera. So we want you taking a picture, sharing this link of this video on your timeline, and letting other people know that we're making recipes every day. And if you have a recipe you'd like us to try, we have some openings this week, and we can try some of their recipes. Couldn't we, guys?
Yep.
All right. Shout out to Caitlin and Carson for their great job today.
And shout out to Mom for helping us.
Oh, that's right. And we want to know what's cooking at your house for supper tonight. Bye.